Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here, and today I'm playing along with May I Scraplift You, and we are scrapping ScrapRona, or Rana, who has a YouTube and Instagram channel. I will try to remember to put them in the link down below, as well as you'll also find the playlist, so you can see who everyone else may have decided to scraplift today. At the beginning, you also saw the layout that I'm going to use as my inspiration. And so the first thing that I'm doing here, I showed you at the beginning the papers that I'm going to use, and I'm starting with a white background here, and I'm adding some ink splatters. I have several colors I showed you at the beginning. I have dilutions, I have Distress Oxide, I have Mr. Huey's, I have shimmers, and Distress Oxide. So lots of variety in inks for this one. But basically I'm just doing sort of where the pattern papers are going to line up on the page. I'm adding that color. I know it kind of looks like a crazy mess right now, but most of this is going to get covered up. I do end up off camera when I lay the papers down adding a little bit of extra splatter to the background, just so that you can actually see that color peeking out from the tops and bottom, because obviously you can see how the inspiration piece, how the papers are going to span the majority of the page. So basically I'm going to take these pattern papers now, and to start I'm cutting them at 10 inches. I know that's too long, but I'm going to start by having about a 2.5 inch strip, and then I'm going to cut it by, so it'll be 2.5 by 10. I do end up cutting it down to, I want to say I cut them down to 8 or 8.5. I think it's 8.5 is what they end up being. But I do that part off camera, but I at least wanted to show you that these are all the pattern papers that I'm using, and I'm going to cut them down. Now, obviously I am not going completely tone on tone like the layout shows that I'm scrap lifting, but I am going to try when I do my embellishing to kind of keep the tones of color to the block of pattern paper. So you'll see as we go on here what I end up doing. I do know on Rana's layout she looks to have done stitching. I did not want to take the time to stitch, so I decided to sort of play on that idea by taking these border strips. So these are from the bottom of the pattern papers. I am using a hip kit. This is the April hip kit, I do believe. And so I am using papers and embellishments. Everything is going to be from that kit. And so I'm just taking the borders of some of the pattern papers, and I'm using those sort of in place of doing any sort of stitching. So I am just gonna lay these out, and that is going to add a little bit more interest, a little bit more color, and I kind of, as you can see, kind of kept them to the color for each of the strips. The only one, obviously, I'm going to bring out more of that red-orange tone in that multicolored pattern paper, but the rest sort of keep to the color of the actual stripe of pattern paper that I'm using. So once I get all of these down, and I do apologize, I left all of this on. Usually I glue everything off camera, but you get to see a bit more of the process. I do have these labels. There was a whole page of labels in this kit, and I cut them out, and as you can see, I'm keeping them sort of tone on tone on each of the stripes. And so I have each one of these labels. I will tell you, the pink and the mint, those move. So the mint moves to the bottom of the photo and the pink moves to the top, as you can see there. I've come back off camera after gluing everything down and placed all the labels where they actually are going to go. This kit also came with rub-ons, and so again, keeping to the tone on tone sort of inspiration, I have a little car, I have a plate and with a knife and a fork, and then I have these little clouds that are going to go up here over the top of the blue stripe. So I'm going to add all of these. So I really love using rub-ons, and I was super excited that there was rub-ons in this particular kit. So I figured I'm going to get a couple of those on. That gives me rub-ons in 3 places. So I'm getting that sort of visual triangle because I don't have a cluster of embellishments that's going to go on a visual triangle. So I kind of have those rub-ons could act as a visual triangle. And that makes me happy because I get one in. Basically now I am just going to go through with the rest. Ooh, I can't talk today. With the rest of the embellishments in the kit, and I'm going to pick out little bits and pieces that work with each of my color waves, and just kind of add a little bit more interest. I keep it pretty simple from an embellishment standpoint. I don't add a whole lot. I don't think it really needs it with all of the pattern and the color that's on this page. I think the embellishing definitely helps the page not to be even more busy by keeping it a little bit understated. But I am kind of just trying to find 1 or 2 little pieces to put in each cluster, just to kind of build them up a little bit more. Now at this point I have pretty much all the pieces down. I do need to put my title, so that is what we're going to work on next. And my title is going to be Road Trip, which this is from the sort of foam word sticker sheet, and then the Elfish sheet. I'm going to write the word breakfast, so it's Road Trip Breakfast. So that is what these photos are. This is early in the morning. This probably was like, I want to say like probably 5 in the morning on our road trip, and we stopped. Probably would have chosen like a Chick-fil-A breakfast over a McDonald's breakfast, but unfortunately that was not at the place that we pulled over, so we opted for a McDonald's breakfast on our road trip. And so that's what I'm documenting. Here are the still photos. I did add some twine in my tag, and the only other thing I did off camera was add 2 little enamel pieces, that arrow there and the geotag there down by the title. So with that, these are gonna be the still photos, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye bye.